Transitway, which was really the brainchild of regional government and Andy Hayden in particular, was an award-winning service that really segregated the buses from traffic, with the one exception being downtown at Slater and Albert, which was always the Achilles heel of the whole system. But it was always built with an intention of converting it eventually to rail. So, you know, our forefathers and mothers were quite wise to build the Transitway in the first place and recognize that eventually it would convert to rail, which we're doing right now. Well, we knew that we were running out of capacity in the downtown core for the bus system. If you go down at rush hour on the morning or afternoon peak period on Slater and Albert and the Mackenzie Bridge, you realize that we've reached capacity. You can't fit any more buses there. And it's a very inefficient system down there because the rest of the system is segregated, which is great, most of it anyways. But in the downtown core, if you have a taxi or a delivery truck that parks illegally on the bus lane, the bus is stuck there for as long as the vehicle is parked illegally. And then that has a ripple effect and it backs up the whole system. And that's why you have a lack of reliability in the overall transit system where people complain. So when we were building and planning the LRT, the whole purpose really was to build for the future, not for the present. So we now have capacity for 24,000 people getting off the train service downtown every hour, as opposed to 8,000 an hour that we have right now. The system really started off a couple councils ago when former Mayor Larry O'Brien, his council canceled the north-south alignment and came forward with an east-west alignment. And then when I was elected, I said we're going to move forward with the east-west. Obviously, a couple of delays have taken place. The most significant was the sinkhole that took place a few years ago that was at a key junction, you know, one of the busiest stations that we predict will be the Rideau Centre station. So that set us back several months, and then there were other challenges with the trains and with the systems, computer systems. We've had a number of milestones, obviously. We've participated, and I've participated in the last spike ceremony, which took place with my council colleagues a little while ago, a few years ago, and getting all the track down was a significant milestone. Getting the trains going through the tunnel and doing a complete run from Tunney's in the west to Blair in the east was also a milestone. Getting the double trains hooked up and used from station to station has been another milestone. And really opening the system in 2019, albeit months later than we'd like to. I think people understood that this is a pretty significant change to our city. You know, our city became a 1 million population city, and I think we now have this transformative project called LRT and the Confederation Line that will help alleviate some of the traffic congestions, not solve all the problems, but certainly give people a viable option to get into the downtown and get out to the suburbs. And obviously phase 2, we want it to go farther east, west, and south, and then phase 3 is to go to Canada and Stittsville and Barrhaven. So we've had lots of milestones, and we'll have many more in the years ahead, because obviously the system will continue to grow just as the TTC has and Montreal's metro system. So the Confederation Line, the terminus in the West End is Tunney's Pasture, a major employment hub with Stats Canada and Health Canada there. Goes to Bayview, which is the east-west, north-south connection station. Off to Pimoussy, which is LeBreton Flats, goes underground at that point, follows roughly Queen Street until we get to the Rideau Centre, stays underground, and then follows the Transitway above ground at Ottawa U all the way to Blair Station in the East End. Well, the biggest change will be more reliability, obviously, for passengers. It's a spoke and hub system where people take their community bus and drop you off at one of the hubs, whether it's Tunney's or Herdman or Blair in the east. And that's significant. I think it's going to be great for tourists who want to get to different parts of the downtown or different activities throughout the city, whether they're in the Byward Market and they want to go to their hotel, which may be on Queen Street. Lots of options for people to sort of hop on and hop off. And I think it's great for students. You know, it connects Carleton and Ottawa U, and eventually with Phase 2, Algonquin College and La Cité, and in the East End, there's Centre des Métiers. So that's going to help students, because a lot of students take one program at one college and another at another university. And obviously for the day-to-day customers, the commuters, it hopefully makes an easier, quicker ride for them, and more comfortable being in a train than a bus. And I think another benefit of the line, obviously, particularly the Confederation Line, it's all electric. We're going to reduce greenhouse gases when it's fully operational by something like 150 to 200,000 tons of greenhouse gases, GHGs. And this is our single largest tool in our toolkit to fight climate change and to reduce our greenhouse gases. So clean electricity runs the system, and I think the more people we get into transit, the better it is for the environment and the better it is for the economy. Well, I've had the honor of riding the train, I guess, 2 or 3 times, you know, once into the tunnel, and it's a beautiful, smooth, quiet ride. You almost don't feel that you're on a moving vehicle. It's really, really well done. The cars are terrific. You know, I've had the opportunity to bring colleagues from City Council and MPs and MPPs, our funding partners, and they've all come away with a really positive sense that this is a very good service, very clean, smooth, comfortable ride on the Alstom vehicles. I thought it was important that we have a contest with young people to ask their ideas to name the trains. Initially, there was no plans to name the trains, so we had a contest citywide, and we received literally hundreds of great names, and we had a selection process, and we came up with names for the 34 trains. Some like, you know, a Poppy, others named after individuals who are no longer with us, such as Gord Downey, and it's an opportunity for us to highlight some great Canadians and some great locations and great symbols of Canada, and have the name on the train, and these young people will all be invited to come on that very first train ride when the system is fully operational. Well, one of the most interesting facts is when our system opens on day 1, it will be the busiest light rail system in North America. And that's pretty impressive, given the fact that we're not as large a city as some other cities around North America. That's a feather in our cap and something we're proud of. I think people will ride the rails not just out of curiosity and interest, but I think because they realize it's a smoother, quicker ride. And you know, when the bus pulls in and you see your train leaving, don't worry, there'll be another one there within 5 minutes. So it's very fast service at rush hour, you know, every 5 minutes or less. And I think that will certainly bring the pressure down of people trying to run after or chase a bus as they've done in the past. Well, the O Train for me means progress as a city. We're now close to becoming a city of 1 million. It's usually when you get to that threshold, you have to start going down, under, and that's what we're doing with the Confederation Line and Trillium. It means great economic opportunities for people who are seeking work. It improves our transit system. It puts us in the league of other large cities in Canada. And hopefully it gives those people who have to or want to take transit an easier ride and a smoother ride in and out of the downtown core or back into the suburbs. And certainly from my perspective, I often tell people who never take the bus, never take the train, your best friend is a transit rider, because they are going to be one less car on the road clogging the Queensway or Baseline or Saint Joseph or some of the other streets in the city. Well, I think people should be very proud. Obviously, it's their money that's been invested into this project, and it's a large expenditure, about $1.2 billion for phase one, with the support of our federal and provincial partners. But at the end of the day, I think people will see this sense of pride when they see the trains going now. There are lots of people that are taking videos of the trains as they're being tested, which is great, from different angles, whether it's at Tunney's Pasture or in the East End at the Gloucester Centre. So I think they'll have a really great sense of pride when they see the OC Transmo logo and the name of the train, named by a young person. And I think we'll be able to attract a lot more transit riders, first maybe out of curiosity, and then realizing it's a quicker way and a cheaper way to get to the downtown or get to your place of work or school.